The Gun Shop Show, the Gun Shop Show. What is it? We don't know. The Gun Shop Show, the Gun Shop Show. Here we go, it's the Gun Shop Show.
The boys are back in town.
Part 2.
This is the Gun Shop Show.
Mm-hmm,
I'm
real
your
deal.
host, Eli Bruton, owner of Liberty Tree Guns, and joined by our producer, the guy that really he doesn't get enough credit for everything that he does for the show, both logistically and in terms of momentum, and that is my man Trevor Smith.
Hey!
And then, as always, our now really nationally known gun bunny. I mean, it's a shame to be objectified by your body the way that he is, but it is our man, Logan Jones.
Ready?
That is the guy.
Apparently, we're ready.
We went out to the range today and had some fun.
Super time.
And we're going to be joined shortly by some folks that went to the range with us.
And that was pretty exciting.
And so we've got a couple of stand-up comedians for the show today. So,
and they're not really gun guys.
no. And you remember when we've had people say, this isn't funny at all. No, it wasn't that. No. Sorry. They didn't say that. They said, this show makes
makes gun owners look like morons.
Yeah. So these guys are going to make us look like morons from their joke telling ability. Really funny comedy duo. That's Bryce, Stanley, and Jerad Langley of Dirt Road Comedy. Really good. We got to see Bryce's act in Springfield. Trevor treated us to a night out to go see that. It was really fun and a great sense of humor. So we went out and shot with them. We'll share those stories, share the guns that we compared today. We'll announce the winner of last week's giveaway and show you what we are giving away this week. So that's all coming up, and I'm going to tell you also how to get some free.
Oh, everybody gonna want that free stuff.
And how you get some of that free merch.
We didn't get. I forgot something.
What'd you forget, dude?
I forgot.
Huh?
Oh, snap.
Underwear?
That sounds serious.
Socks?
You forgot.
I forgot to order lunch for the big sale day.
Uh-oh.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, so we're going hungry today.
Oh, no.
We have the anniversary sale going on today.
It's happening right now.
As we speak.
Why don't Logan, you're expert in this anniversaries.
Yeah, Logan.
Yes.
So we got a lot of items sold. This is like if you... No, I was going to say if you got in a coma.
Yeah.
And then woke back up and it was 2 years ago. That's what these prices are looking like.
Yeah. Yeah, that's how low they are.
Yeah.
Oh, they're fantastic.
Pre-COVID prices.
I know you're not going to be able to remember them all without the flyer in your hand, but just spitball some stuff for the listener that...
I could probably remember them all.
Oh, let's do it.
Yeah.
Lay it out.
Challenge.
So we have the Cobra Derringer 38 Special. We're looking at price-wise $139.95, which is fantastic for a gun like that.
We've given that away for tagging 5 friends and sharing the feed before.
Yep.
And that's
we're
a nice little gun.
We're gonna give another gun away for doing the same thing this episode. Just saying.
Oh, wow.
I just decided that on the spot. But anyway, we have the Zastava. My gosh, it's a hard word to say.
No, that's actually the right way.
It's the body. Zastava.
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 It has to sound. It has to sound like there's a sweat bee in your ear.
Zastava.
Which
you're actually supposed to add. Zastava. That's actually the right way to pronounce it.
it's an AK. It's actually, you can see it behind Eli right there. That's one of them.
That's the one directly behind his shoulders.
That's the one we took to the range.
And because we did an AK, we might as well do an AR, Springfield St. Victor pistol. It's a fantastic rifle. Looking at price-wise, $1079.95, which is a steal nowadays.
Those AR pistols are on the radar of the gun grabbers, so you might want
to
Get
get one.
them while they're around.
Or they're hot.
Yeah.
Hot commodity.
The Citadel Boss, 12 gauge. which we've shot on the show before. That's going to be on sale.
Yep. That was a nice little semi-auto shotgun, wasn't it?
Honestly, steal of a price. We're talking $479.95, which is under $500 for something that quality.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna want to hop on board and go pull out that wallet and shell out some cash for that because it's awesome. Next, we got a G-Force. It's a pump, more a self-defense style pump. You're looking at $279.95, which for something like that, which were almost impossible to get a few months ago.
Yeah,
like there was none.
Yeah, and then what?
Now we have some.
Yeah,
you grease some elbows. Some
I made some phone calls. I was like, "Hello, we need this." And they sent them to us.
When COVID broke loose and the riots followed, we sold every single pump shotgun within 24 hours.
Yep.
Like we had old antiques. We had like duck hunting guns that were $900, and people just bought them to think, if stuff goes down, this is what I want. It was just crazy. So now it's good to have a affordable pump shotgun back. What else we got, Logan?
We have some ammo. Some 308 at a really good price, $17.95 for a box of 20. It's fantastic prices, especially considering everything going on right now.
And if you're hearing this, there's still time to get it. Get over here to Liberty Tree Guns. We're at 530 West Fur Road in Carthage.
Yeah, the sale is going to be going on until 6 tonight. We had donuts this morning. I think we're having hot dogs for lunch.
Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
Trying to get it figured out. But we have 9mm in stock, unless it's sold out already. We had some 5.56 this morning. It's probably gone by now. We have some 40 Smith & Wesson, some lower parts kits for ARs. And if they're talking about making AR parts and whatnot serialized, you probably want to get some of those before they do that.
On that.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you're going to
waste no time.
A background check for that stuff, and that's honestly, it's silly.
It is. It's
silly.
Totally silly. And the AR parts are the CMMG.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
Yes, they are.
I recently found out that they're a Missouri company.
Yep.
I didn't know that.
That's true.
And another thing that the big old government has on the radar is 30-round Magpul Max. Not Magpul Max in general, but yeah, those are on sale.
Yeah. Love it.
Yeah, those are great. Those look like a great deal. We had the SKs?
Fantastic.
I can't remember what the brand was. I know it had
Those
Ks and
are cheap,
S's
too.
in them.
Yeah.
At what was that, Black Friday?
Yep.
Yeah, and I'm that's old hat. I'm getting some of the Magpuls now.
Yeah, Magpul's good stuff. That's top tier.
Yeah, that's what you want. Man, it's been just crazy, although I feel a little bit like as a business we've grown into meeting. I mean, we've just shipped out hundreds of orders every month, served tons of customers in the store. It's come good. I've been fortunate to get to take a little bit of time off and clear my head. I also remember why I used to never do that.
Take time off and clear your head?
Yeah, my brain is a little odd.
Yeah.
How so, man?
Well, I've been knocking out some home improvement stuff.
Okay.
And I was replacing the top rails on my deck. And
Is it a big deck or a small deck?
yeah, medium. Like, it's not tiny.
Your
but
average deck?
I would, there's probably 50 combined feet of rails if you go all the way around. And so those were the worst decayed, and also that's where you put your hands and stuff. So
Yeah.
the rest of the deck was in pretty, usable shape. So I thought I'll just replace the top rails and plenty of life left in the other. I'm not really a carpenter. I do some of the work myself. But so I'm like having to learn to cut angles I've never cut before. You got stuff going into the corner of a post and at 45s. Like, it's all this
snap.
stuff. But I'm just sitting there. I'm like, it's nice. The sun is shining. I'm in my own backyard. And I'm sitting there like making a cut. And my brain's like, mitochondria.
Powerhouse of the cell.
and I'm like, that's not any. I'm not sure exactly. I know that's cell related, but that doesn't
How
help.
did that even happen?
And then I'm like, that was weird. It just literally just out of nowhere, mitochondria. So I'm like, that's stupid. Stop thinking mitochondria. But it just kept popping in my head. So I'm refusing to allow it to again. And it's like, Victarvi. Is that anything? I'm like,
What's happening right
I've
now?
heard that.
Victarvi?
Why did it just pop into my head?
Were you on drugs?
Nope. Just hanging out in my brain was suggesting things that were not helpful.
See, I have something similar to that, and not that my brain comes up with just nonsense, but
That's a thing I've heard somewhere.
it's like whatever I'm doing, my brain's like, you could die doing this, and then it plays out how that could happen,
Yeah, that's
and I'm like, oh dang, you're right.
that's a good point you just made there. No, I don't understand it. It's not helpful, but you know, I'm looking at a speed square, which is for me was always just that's a triangle you can use to make a 90-degree angle. But if you look on
As
there,
a kid, I was so confused.
and you look on there, there's all these other things. And so I'm like looking at this angle I got to cut and then getting out a pencil. I'm like, no, I don't know how to do any of the math off of this other than 190-degree angle. And during all of that, I was like really racking my brain. And all I got was Victor Harvey. Hey,
Yeah.
What's up?
I want to tell you that if you want to be prepared for anything, one of the things you
Like these
should be
riots going
prepared
on.
for is legal defense for your self-defense. You can get that from U.S. Law Shield, our flagship sponsor. You can get 2 months for free. So this gives you unlimited legal protection if you act with your gun or any other item in self-defense for $10.95 a month. Go to uslawshield.com, put in Liberty Tree
As your promo code, all one word.
all one word, and you're going to get 2 months for free. So 14 months for the price of 12, and your rate will get locked in forever. Yay. And you'll support the Gun Shop Show. Stay with us. We got a couple great guests coming up on the Gun Shop Show.
Listen here, Pilgrim. This here is the Gun Shop Show.
Welcome back. Once again, it is your friends in the gun business. I'm Eli Bruton, your host. And I wanted to remind you that we like to give stuff away here on the Gun Shop Show.
Yes, sir.
Besides the warm and fuzzies.
Yeah.
And the occasional gift of laughter, which I'll get more into in just a second.
Great gift.
I've
But-
heard we've injured a lot of sides as a result of
Yeah,
this show.
there's been some damaged sides. Split. Most of them split. But we like to give away guns, and I'm giving away one off the wall today.
a nice one.
One that we got out and shot. This is the Ruger Wrangler single action 22 revolver. I've said many times this is something that anybody who wants to be a gun owner will enjoy and will get use out of. So it's a single action, sort of cowboy style. You got to cock the hammer every time you want to fire it. Fires 22 long rifle. And even if you're kind of a seasoned gun owner or you've owned much more powerful calibers in the past, you're still going to get a ton of enjoyment out of this thing because it's great for new shooters. It's easy to shoot. My dentist drives around with one and pulls it out and shoots armadillo out the window of
Nice.
his
That's
truck.
good use.
That's a real story, by the way,
Snap.
from a real professional person that went to medical school. Carries one of these around to shoot armadillos.
Do dentists go to medical school?
I don't think they're like chiropractors.
Dental school?
I would think it would be dental school.
Dental school.
I
Or
don't
a
know.
doctor.
Yeah.
Anyway, all you have to do to win this gun is share the feed, tag 5 of your friends in the comments, and we'll give this away. And a lot of people, they think that sounds too good to be true. How many entries are there? Every single show, we give away a gun, like a real firearm.
Dang near.
And so the odds are much better than going to the casino.
Big time.
You just share the feed, tag 5 of your friends, and the odds of you getting drawn for the winner are pretty high. So make sure you do that now. And we will also announce the winner of last week's giveaway before the end of the show. As you guys know, I'm very excited about what's coming up in the show. We try not to take ourselves too serious here on the Gun Shop Show. In fact, we'd like to think we've made you laugh at times in the past, but we decided to kick up our game a little bit. We brought in a couple of guys who literally make people laugh for money. We've got a couple of great stand-up comedians, one of which I've had the pleasure of seeing live in person. So welcome to the show, Bryce, Stanley, and Jerad Langley.
Hello.
Hey, how's it going, guys?
Thanks for joining us.
We're glad to be here.
Thanks for having us.
So we got a chance to run out to the range.
We did.
And I want to get into that in just a minute. But you two are part of something called Dirt Road Comedy.
Yes.
You literally rolled up here in, I say rolled, literally, in a motorhome.
1987 Toyota Motorhome. Yes.
I love it. And also, you know, I hate to admit it, but you really are kind of like cut from my kind of people where I came from.
Yeah.
So I feel that immediate like communion between us. So I think you're going to appeal to our audience, you know, and a lot of people that grew up rural, and I'll talk to you guys about that. Guns are part of their upbringing. Everybody's got a memory, and it's different. It's different for people who live in the city. They may not experience that, but about everybody who spent time in a rural part of the country has a memory or two shooting guns. So I want to get into that with you guys. But quickly tell us about your comedy, when you do it, how you do it.
We've been doing it kind of dirt road. We've been doing it for the last probably 3 or 4 years. We have decided that we like small towns better than the cities. So we kind of focus on that. We try to do a lot of small towns, and we end up in bars and restaurants and bowling alleys and wherever we can end up. And then last year during COVID, we decided to upgrade to the motorhome. So we forked out a few $100,000 for that 87 Toyota Motorhome out there. And so now we've got our own little hotel with us. We've got, we built a stage on the side. It's a Rascal scooter ramp that sits on the back, and then we can move it around to the side, and we got all the speaker system. We can do a show in a yard, in a field, in a parking lot.
Now, are you guys sponsored by Rascal by chance?
No, not yet. We're still working the sponsorship angle.
Yeah.
We've got we're building a brick wall kind of on the stage side there that you guys saw, and we're having people are sponsoring us there, and they get to sign the brick. And
That's a great
be
idea.
part of the team. We're going to try to get that whole side to be bricks of people that have signed. So
That's great.
We've got about we got people from like 18 states, I think, on there so far.
Nice.
I was reading some of those. That's
We've got a lot of sponsorship packages.
Yeah.
I mean, they go from, $50 all the way up to $25,000.
what can I get for $50?
You can get a brick for $50.
Sign a brick, and you get a T-shirt and a koozie cap.
I will
and-
buy a brick right now.
All right, I got one right here. We were going to let you sign. You spoke too soon. I was going to let you do it for free.
You almost got the freebie deal.
But you will get a shirt and a
Yeah.
koozie. We'll get you some stuff. Yeah.
I love it, and I'm a big fan. In fact, we went to see Dusty Slay in Springfield, Missouri, and I did not expect Bryce to get you as an add-on, but I really enjoyed your act. And so I want to learn more about your background, where you grew up, because you really remind me of some guys that I knew who I don't think were trying to be funny, but they were funny to me.
Right.
So
Yeah.
we'll talk about that. But we got a chance to shoot some guns. I'm curious, how long has it been since each of you shot a gun before today?
I think I shot one maybe 15 years ago. Shotgun, just doing like some skeet shooting with some buddies. And I think one of them had like a pistol, and I got to shoot it a couple of times. But it'd been a while, as you could tell.
Well, I mean, you had those chain shots.
Yeah, I was hitting the chain a lot. That's where I was aiming.
Aiming for it.
Going right through it.
Yeah.
Well, what about you, Jerad?
My nephew got an SK, probably 2 years ago.
I see.
And I got to shoot that a couple times. And before that, it was probably 25 years, maybe 30 years ago.
So I really like getting those experiences on the show because, so many gun content creators, they're getting all high-level shooters, experienced shooters, and they're getting the minutia of what they like about different guns. But to the casual person coming into the market, they looked around at this year and things that are going on and thought, man, maybe I should own a gun or maybe I should get a gun before they get banned. Those people are coming in pretty green. And so I like to showcase somebody that, I don't do this all the time. And here's what my experience was. And here's the thing that surprised me or was better or worse than I expected. So we'll come back and get into that in just a minute. But Real quick, I'll start with you, Jerad. Tell us about your background. Where did you grow up? Are you from this area?
I grew up Lake of the Ozarks, down in Eldon, Missouri. Basically rural. My dad was a Southern Baptist preacher, so it was that upbringing.
I see that. I've heard. I bet you draw from that.
Yeah,
in your act.
A little bit, yeah. And we hunted, and we did all the. I grew up around rifles. At a 30-30 and 22, and just been a while.
Awesome. I think that your microphone or someone's
it's that cord. There you go.
Throw that cord over your shoulder.
Yeah, there you
We're
go.
making a show on the fly here.
Yeah, and he's wearing that stylish set.
Sweet.
He's got the
I got the special mic and the special headphones.
the boutique headphones.
Those are Troy's headphones.
We'll be right back on the Gun Shop Show, and we'll be talking about all the things we had the pleasure of shooting. Stay with us. Welcome back to the Gun Shop Show. I want to remind you, if you are on the go and you can't sit down and watch us on the screen, or you can't catch us on our great affiliate KODE 12 or News Talk KZRG, go get the podcast.
Yeah.
Take it with you anywhere you want.
free.
Watch it on demand. It's absolutely free. We're on all the major podcast players. And do that right now.
Yeah.
Even if you're watching on
Don't
TV.
waste any time.
Go
Also-
ahead. Subscribe on there, because once you subscribe, you're just going to get
You
them
get all
right-
the hits.
You're going to get them right there in your email. You're not going to think about it anymore.
Right. And you're going to get all the hits because I only record hits.
So I don't know what happened as this show developed, but we seem to have a very strong following of older folks and children.
Yes.
Seem to be alienating everyone in between.
It's not 8 to 80. It's 8, comma 80 is our demographic.
It's weird, you thought, well, it'll be all like 20-something guys that want to watch the Gun Shop Show,
Yeah,
but it's all 7-year-olds and 70-year-old ladies. And the 70-year-old demographic is like, I love you guys. And you can tell I'm doing a little bit of a Lulu impression. She's like, and also, what the hell is a podcast? You just go to the App Store and download any of the players. You can use Google Podcasts. You can use what's the Apple one called?
Apple Podcasts,
Apple
I think.
Podcasts.
Yeah.
Keep it
Yeah,
simple.
you can go to gunshopshow.com and there's a list of them right at the top.
Yeah, you can get all of them, and you can even get the podcast right there on gunshopshow.com.
But we should let folks know, because this is very important, Eli. This goes under the radar. Gun Shop Show, I've heard on the streets, better listen than a watch.
Is that true?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Word on the streets.
Some people say they prefer not to see
you.
what's happening
Yeah.
out here. And I
Let their
understand.
imagination take place.
I understand that. One thing, 2 weeks in Florida only helped a little bit with what you're getting here on, as far as feedback off the forehead.
Did you get the other end too while you were there?
The only thing I'm disappointed about is I was really intending to sell that whiteboard
Right.
as sponsorship package.
Yeah. Well, guess
Premiere.
what? One just opened up over here. I got one right here.
Yeah, every year that goes by, I have more real estate for sale up here to sponsor the show, and I can get more names on there. Let's get back into it. Jerad, before the break, you were telling us that your dad was a preacher and that you grew up shooting guns. I want to get into both some of those experiences and also how those affect your comedy.
Well, I mean, everything about my childhood shaped my comedy. I mean, I don't spend a lot of time like making fun of my dad or anything, but the influence is there, And I was just talking to my son last night about the way we're all the same. My dad was very charismatic and very could definitely argue and present his argument very well, and you just. Back then, you didn't know if he was full of it or not. Like, you didn't know if what he was saying was actually true. Now, I do that to my kid, and he can Google check me right on the spot. He's like, that's not true.
It's not.
I can't win the argument as well as he
Top
did.
result says you're wrong.
I know. My 9-year-old does the same thing. He's like, Dad, how tall is Ardridas Sabonis? And I'm like, I don't know. I think like 6'11". He's like,
You were wrong.
why don't you Google it? Like, why'd you ask me if you already weren't going to trust what I told you?
Yeah. They can't now.
That changes everything.
That changes everything. So I grew up having to believe everything, and then you find out later that maybe he was making some of that stuff up.
Yeah, but if you say
on the fly.
it, if you're good enough at saying it,
Yeah, I
that makes
know.
a difference.
Yeah, that's the thing.
So what else about that childhood? You mentioned some hunting and stuff that you did, and there was apparently a kind of a gap between those experiences with guns up to today. What was different about today, or different than you remembered?
Today was fantastic. I hadn't shot a pistol in probably 30 years. Like,
Wow.
I mean, it's been some time. And that was a 22 at the time. And so this, I really enjoyed, well, the 22. I liked that one the best. The 9mm, that was hard to hit anything.
Yeah.
So let's. I'm going to go down a list of the guns we shot today. That way, when we refer to them, everyone will know what we're talking about. And I know that you were waiting on some of those clips. Are those about ready?
I've got the Zastava ready to go.
Okay, so I'll go down the list. We shot the gun that we're giving away today, which is a Ruger Wrangler. This is a really affordable gun. What are these on the shelf right now, Logan?
$199.95.
Oh, so it's even cheaper than I told you. These are just great to keep around. They're kind of for you as a traveler. They're kind of like non-threatening. If law enforcement sees this, they're not going to feel like you're doing anything nefarious with it. But it'll give you a little bit of varmint control if you're staying somewhere, and they're just a ton of fun to have around. And you can get one for no money today if you want to share the feed and tag 5 of your friends.
Super simple.
And that does a couple things. That helps share the message of your friends in the gun business here at Liberty Tree Guns, and it gives you a chance to get a free gun.
Yay.
Okay, what else? We shot the AK.
Yep.
So the rifle we shot was a Zastava brand AK-47.
This one right here.
Yep, one of the most. Oh yeah, very good. I forget we have our own resident gun bunny on staff.
Display it, Logan.
Yeah, Vanna White
Just
that
here for
thing.
the looks.
Yeah, we're going to need you, Vanna White it.
So the AK, guys, is
Excellent.
Beautiful.
one of the most prolific
It's cold to the touch.
gun designs of all time. And here in America, it's got like not only this practical following, people like it for the features of it, but there's also like a little bit of cult following culture, because worldwide, the AK is kind of the bad guy's gun. The U.S. has the M16 platform and the M4 based off the AR-15. This is the thing that a lot of the Arab countries, the Russians, this is the thing that they'd carry around. There's a great little monologue that in the movie Lord of War with Nicolas Cage, where he goes around about why this thing came to be and why it's so prolific. But I actually like this as my defensive rifle. So instead of being an AR guy, I'm an AK guy. The ammo's a little bit cheaper. You're shooting that steel case stuff. It's a little bit heavier bullet than we shoot in the AR-15. So it's a big enough caliber that you could actually take deer with it. It's a 30 caliber bullet. It's going to have a little more punch. It's going to shoot through brush and light cover. So if you're shooting through wall or plywood, you could still hit your target and be effective. And so you guys got a chance to shoot this one today.
Yeah.
And I want to talk about how was that compared to what you expected and all of that.
Well, I'll tell you, like the weird thing for me was that when I pulled it up and you guys saw that, like, I'm blind in my right eye now, and so when I went to shoot it, I hadn't shot a rifle since that happened. So I kind of tried. And,
hey, let's roll that. Let's roll that, and then we'll let you tell it
shifted.
back.
Okay.
Yeah, let's
roll that.
if you got that clip of him, let's roll that, and then we'll tell that story about what you were getting ready to describe.
I'm just.
Yeah, no, you're not hitting the steel yet.
Yeah, and we went around to the other side, and it was almost immediate improvement. There you
Look
go.
at that. Look at that. That's a satisfying.
That's impressive. All right, so you were starting to say.
I'm left-handed now. I guess I should be left-handed. That's,
Or you're ambi.
I mean, I'm an amphibian now, I think. Is what
Amphibious.
Yeah.
I'm amphibious.
So yeah,
I can
that
use
is the
both
first time I'd raised a rifle and tried to shoot since I've got problems with this eye. So it was very interesting for me to be able to switch and it felt good to be able to hit it that way.
Yeah,
I was impressed.
But it's a light gun. It doesn't have that much recoil. It shoots real nice. So
Yeah, it felt
I
good.
just felt like it was a real fun gun to shoot.
Yeah, we all had a chuckle when you said, "Let me switch sides. It's this eye," because we were saying,
Who
That's why-
switches hands when they miss a couple shots, right?
but as a firearms instructor, I can tell you, not only people with vision problems, but even your dominant eye. So a lot of people can be right-handed and left eye dominant, and they struggle to align those sights. So it doesn't shock me that you switched, and even though that's not your natural hand and your natural grip, you're able to hit the target. So when we come back from the break, we'll be talking more with Dirt Road Comedy. Welcome back to the Gun Shop Show. We're talking with the guys from Dirt Road Comedy, mobile comedy troupe. And not that all comedians don't travel around, but the thing that makes you guys interesting and special is you do it in this motorhome that can convert into the venue itself, which is a terrific idea, a lot of fun, and can bring your flavor of comedy right to a person who can enjoy it. And I'm going to be... I'm not just buttering you up because you're on the show. My response to Bryce when I got to see you live was what prompted us to invite you on the show, and I was honestly surprised that I was able to see a set so well done and made me laugh so much here locally in our area. It really felt like any of the national comedians that people might be more familiar with. So if you really want to get that level of comedy that's attainable or approachable to book for your venue or your own, you do parties in backyards and stuff too, right?
Yeah. Yeah, we've done all kinds of stuff. We did a little neighborhood party down in Nashville last week, and
Nice.
went real well.
I know you do garages.
You can do garages.
Yeah. Do you also? I don't know what I was going to ask, but pools. Do you do pools?
We could do a pool.
Do anywhere.
We needed to.
Depends on how close the fence is, right?
We're probably not going to be in the pool.
Yeah, we would be outside the pool, but if you wanted
okay.
to be in the pool, we could do that.
That makes sense.
So we don't have to bring the RV. So if it's tight to get back to the pool, we could just walk back there with the speakers.
Nice.
That's true.
So,
You guys are real adaptable.
Have you considered going to like a city pool unsolicited and doing your bit?
not yet, but that would be a pretty good video, probably.
I
Have you
think
guys
it'd be-
done guerrilla comedy?
Yeah.
No, we have not.
I would be interested to see how comedy is received by someone who's not expecting to receive
Yeah,
it.
It's usually not well.
Like,
It doesn't
not
work.
good.
like a
the
Walmart parking lot. Like we're gonna be sleeping here tonight anyway, so why don't we just do a
Just
show
set-
and
yeah,
just
set
kind
up.
You try out some new material?
Yeah, see
Have
how
a tip
close to the
bucket out
front door we
front.
can
That
get.
actually could work.
Yeah,
It
I
might,
would. I
yeah.
would show up for that.
Yeah.
You know, but you got to be careful traveling around in a big van. Like, it's instead of free candy, it's free jokes.
Yeah.
You got to be
Yeah.
cautious. of
Well,
what.
Couple
It's not
50-year-old
windowless.
Men, yeah,
Yeah,
That's true.
it can come across creepy.
we try to dodge elementary schools.
Right.
Yeah.
Get too close to them. There's just nothing good that's gonna happen.
And I think you want just a twinge of creepiness, right? Like you don't want it all.
Uncomfortable.
A dash.
It's just a little bit of uncomfortableness.
Right.
Not
You need-
creepy.
That's
gotta
on
be
the
careful.
edge. But in all seriousness, so if you know somebody that has, like a retirement party or a big birthday party, that's something I think people might not realize is attainable to bring in like legit good comedians, show up. I mean, what a great way if you want to really create a memorable party to bring that. If you're somebody that enjoys laughing and comedy, then you guys would be perfect for that.
Yep.
I agree.
Most people opt for the band, but you could do a band comedian mashup.
I'm sure that happens sometimes.
Combo. Yeah.
Yeah.
So if somebody wants to book you, where do they go to do that?
Dirtroadcomedy.com is probably the easiest way.
They can just send you a little message.
Yeah, they
request.
can send us messages on there, or you can find us on Facebook. We got Dirt Road Comedy on Facebook.
Cool.
Just send us a message on there. So.
And we will put the link to your website in the show notes because I know there's some folks around here that you probably, if they enjoy our show, then they're not the kind of person that takes themselves too seriously and might want to laugh. And so they could do even more of that by booking you guys. So I want to get into, we covered with Jerad his was surprised at the lack of recoil on the AK. And it is a pretty good cartridge. So the 7.62x39. Do we have any here on the table? Logan?
We have some over here I can grab.
Yeah, grab some if you can. So ballistically, they're not truly interchangeable or anything, but ballistically, you have about the same trajectory and overall muzzle energy as a 30-30 rifle.
Okay.
So you've got a 30 caliber bullet. Looks like this. It's going to shoot an effective range of about 300 yards. It's going to have plenty of stopping power for a deer, but it's not like a sniper rifle caliber. It's an intermediate range. And so you mentioned having a 30-30 growing up. I bet you probably remember it thumping you a lot harder than
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, it definitely had a harder kick.
And so I think a lot of people might underestimate the versatility of a gun like that because you can still hunt with that. But it is the action because that each time you squeeze a trigger, it drives that action backwards to pick up the next round. And that's actually absorbing some of that felt recoil that you don't have in a bolt action or a lever action.
Yeah.
So it's actually a lot more user friendly. You might look at a gun like that and say, well, that's going to be for more experienced shooters. Honestly, it's a little easier for youth or somebody who wouldn't be comfortable with that amount of recoil. What did you think, Bryce?
That's probably the most powerful gun I've ever shot. But I was very impressed with it was easy to shoot as far as recoil, and none of that was scary. So, coming from a guy who, most of my background's in BB guns. So,
You're not alone.
Yeah, they don't have a whole lot of kick to them. It was fun. I wasn't good with it. They'll probably show the video here soon.
I want to roll the video, and maybe Trevor has edited in some
tings.
Some tings.
More like wah, wah, wah.
So at the beginning of this one, our viewers are gonna get the chance to see the Dirt Road Comedy Mobile. They can also
glorious.
see. Can you put just? Is it gonna start rolling as soon as you do that?
Yeah.
Put it on screen and pause it for me.
Okay.
So for the radio listener, this is us earlier at the range, and give it a little pause.
Let's go. Let's try. Let's go back just a scotch.
Drag it back.
Okay, so there,
it is.
perfect.
There it is.
So you can
There it
see
is.
in the background, this is your 87 Toyota Motorhome,
Yeah,
and you've got these bricks.
that's the brick wall we're building right there. That's their stage backdrop.
So I don't know, I'm sure this is intentional, but when I think of like iconic comedy clubs,
Yeah.
they got that brick background. And so you're bringing that with you.
That's
Heck
what we're
yeah,
doing.
man.
And we're building it, yeah, and
Nice.
letting people sign it. So yeah, that was
what-
kind of the whole concept. We'll eventually, hopefully, have that whole side all bricked. So
I love it. It's a practical. As an RVer myself, I find it to be both practical and charming for your tour. So here's you with a Zastava, and we're gonna see how well you did hitting that target.
I don't know why that's so hard for me.
That's what. Never mind.
Where am I
I
missing?
was working the perimeter.
He's just laying down
Yeah,
some.
I didn't want kill shots early.
Right. That's cover fire.
Warning
Yeah.
shots.
And just warn him a couple times.
Sure looks like I'm hitting it.
There
There you go. There it
There we
is.
go.
Nice,
And I went in
nice.
for the kill.
Yeah. One more.
I think we got. Is that it? One more. There we go.
Just a couple warning shots at the
I
end.
went
to
very good.
just let him know I was
Yeah,
there.
you let them know they just got shot.
Get back up.
You just been shot.
You remember the guy? Yeah, it's like someone I know. I'm not saying it's my wife. Actually, I can't say that because she doesn't watch the show.
Oh yeah.
She thinks her turn signal is just to let you know she recently turned.
Oh yeah.
So she does the turn, click, click. And it's
Are you
one.
serious?
Yeah. Like, that's not just like a ceremonial thing, a tradition that we have when we turn, like, let everyone know you did that
Like
a minute ago.
OCD tick that she's got
Right.
after.
Yeah. Hey,
I've done it too, but it's usually like, oh crap, I forgot to. I better, and then I always flip
better
it back
late
off.
than never.
Right.
And better when it's totally
hey.
irrelevant and not helpful at all.
Nope.
Just in case you wanted to know, I was actually turning this way. It's not an accident.
She's gonna be mad at you.
Yeah. Do we need to show Logan?
I don't know.
Logan, do you have anything breathtakingly insightful about that gun?
Yes, I took it apart and told you every part about it.
That is,
It was
did you
breathtaking.
feel an actual DNA connection to your people by holding that gun?
Yes, I had flashbacks of the desert and a bunch of sand.
Wow.
There's
Wow.
a
Were
couple-
the sands white?
They
in
were
that?
not white.
Oh,
They were camel colored.
nice.
That's how we describe sand from where
Why don't you roll it? We've already done all this.
All the spoils are out.
We're shooting
He hits it every time.
M70.
Our
My
game-
arms are so hairy.
The camera adds 10 hair.
10 pounds of
per
hair.
square inch.
This is Logan showing off.
Over.
It was that one right there.
I really wanted him to knock it over because the way it was rocking, it was like a cumulative benefit of the rock, and it really reminded me of, I think I was about to tell this like everyone did it in school. Maybe it was just me. My parents didn't stake down our swing set.
Oh yeah.
So
for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, well, or I had to ask a family member, like a heavier family member, to
hold
sit in one swing so it didn't flip over. So, like, if I wanted to swing, they had to dedicate the same amount of time. That's what it reminded me of. And I really thought you were going to get that tip over. You didn't get it done.
I tried to. I'm
I
sorry.
was disappointed.
Yeah.
What do you think? We need your. You got 30 seconds before the commercial. Give us the short sale on that,
I liked it.
and it's going to be on sale this
That's
weekend
it. It will be on sale this weekend.
for.
$10.49.
That's right.
$10.49 right now, actually.
$10.49.
Yeah,
come get it.
$10.49.95. We have
you're-
a limited number.
If you're hearing this, drive here now and get one on the Gun Shop Show.
The Gun Shop Show, the Gun Shop Show. What is it? We don't know. The Gun Shop Show, the Gun Shop Show. Here we go, it's the Gun Shop Show.
It is indeed the Gun Shop Show, and we're back. We're your friends in the gun business. I've had a lot of fun already joking around with these guys. Obviously, great sense of humor. We have Dirt Road Comedy with us today. Bryce Stanley and Jerad Langley. As I mentioned earlier, Bryce, I got to see you in Springfield do your set. Absolutely cracked me up. And so I wanted to get into asking you, you're from this area, and I can tell that.
Bolivar, Missouri. Yeah,
Yeah.
not too far. So
So tell me a little bit about how your demographic growing up, where you grew up, and how that shapes. Dirt Road Comedy means you have some background living in the country.
background country. Yeah. Yeah. Grew up in Bolivar. I think I moved there about kindergarten time, and then lived there till I left for college and never came back. But yeah, it's just the small town. You kind of know everybody, or who everybody is. You just kind of got to get used to
Yeah.
all the different personalities, all the different kind of people, and you just kind of get accustomed to talking to people and just being friendly with everybody. That's the thing I've noticed between the smaller towns and the cities. It's like a lot of times in the city they don't care if they talk to you or whatever, but in smaller towns people typically they're going to be nice to you and talk to you, and you just sit and talk and
I think
learn
that
a little something from them.
theoretically, in a big city, you have your choice of people to talk to.
Right.
The unlimited supply of people that you might encounter and places you can work. But when you're from a real small town, like, you kind of have to get along. Because that guy that works, at the tire shop's also on the school board, and like, you're gonna see him and people that know him, and so that little bit of keeping your word, being decent to people, it really matters more around here.
Yeah, a little higher accountability for your actions in a small town as opposed to a city where you're just one of the numbers.
Definitely.
But I'm curious if you feel like what I've discovered as I talk to people from bigger cities is there's a wider cultural gap in terms of the way that people behave and the things they say and do between a major city and an area like ours. Does that give you like a comedic edge? Do they find that they feel like it's some, there has to be some the blue collar comedy appealed to the masses, not just, it really appealed to blue collar people because these are all things that we relate to, but it also appealed wider because people thought they were getting like a little peek behind the curtain of a different part of America.
No, I think that's an advantage. I started doing comedy in Kansas City, so I felt like I was unique compared to a lot of them just because it's a different take. So I didn't, it's a lot of 20 to 30-year-old guys, and then there's an old chubby dude, me showing up, that's kind of talking slow. And so, I think it makes me, they remember me a little bit more just from the differences. But, I think it's an advantage. And then we just kind of settled into going to small towns because that's where we like to be. It's a lot more fun.
I noticed immediately, and now having met you off air and outside of your set, like that's the way that you talk and your persona, like that's just you.
Right.
That's not an act.
No.
You're not you're not putting that on. That's how you are.
No, I tried different things, and then I just keep coming back to just being me. And I don't get very animated on stage. I just kind of talk and hope it's funny.
It is super funny, and it almost reminded me, I've encountered a few guys who remind me of you, like that they're not, a lot of them are not trying to be funny. They just let you know what's going on in their life, and it's hilarious from my perspective.
Right.
I knew a guy, and he actually kind of looked like you, and he was a diesel mechanic just down the road. And if you got left alone with the guy, every time he would tell you something like that you really didn't want to know.
Some dark stuff.
Like, I'm like, I've owned a diesel or two before, but the maintenance is a lot different. He's like, my wife's body looks a little different than most women's bodies. And then like he starts telling you, it's like, and they're two different sizes. Oh God. And I'm like, why are you telling me this? And I'm wanting to laugh, and he's not trying to be funny. But it's there's just an undertone of you. It's almost wouldn't matter what you say. The way that you deliver it makes me laugh, and I appreciate that. So we got to shoot some other guns with you guys. Which ones we have prepped next, Trevor?
We got the Wrangler coming up next.
So this is the one that we're giving away. This is a little 22 single action revolver that you can get today just by sharing the feed and tagging 5 of your friends. And you tag them in the comments. And what tagging is there for our generation, our older generation, is you just start typing the name of your friend. And don't just... And this is imperative. Do not just spam people who would not want to watch this, because that's not cool. There's actually a nice Mexican restaurant in town that does that to me. They just know that I have people on my social media, so they just tag me in a Spanish language thing about enchiladas that no one can follow.
Oh, they do it to me too.
And the like, that's not polite, socially in our world, but they're so cool, and their food is so affordable. They're part of our family now. I'm like, you know what? I already got a good deal on tacos. You can have a little bit of my social media credit for free.
Right.
There you
The
go.
Wrangler.
Yeah, we got the Wrangler coming up next.
Let's roll them shooting the Wrangler.
We gonna show Logs shooting the Wrangler?
I don't think
Just
anyone
the guest?
cares.
Yeah,
No one cares about
We've seen
that
him
anymore.
shoot a Wrangler
Everyone's
once.
seen
We've seen him shoot it 1,000 times. This is Jerad.
Like, no, the banks have an issue. If you have an issue
He's like, all right, I will. Gun bunny.
I forgot we had that conversation.
You got me there.
What were we even talking about?
The gun bunny thing.
Oh,
Turn it a little bit in front of your left eye. Just turn it in your hands.
Turn it in my hand.
Yeah, to the left a little bit.
Just tilt your hands this way a little bit and see if that brings it into the other focal plane.
Oh, yeah, actually.
bing.
Mm-hmm. Right away.
I think he rung steel on all the last ones.
I did.
That seemed like 6.
I just got to learn how to shoot left-handed.
Yeah, you
That's all
did.
it takes.
And for the radio listener, wasn't able to see that footage. Jerad, he immediately, when he shot that rifle, said, "I've had some vision problems out of this right eye, and I can't see." And you switched to left-handed. Well, that time you're shooting a handgun, which is not as you're kind of using both hands on that.
Yeah.
And so one of the things that we tried, and it's something that I want to tell, I tell all my students who come take the class, but even if you're just a listener, if you really struggle with aligning the sights and you feel like everyone says you just line this up with this and put it over the target and you hit, and you always feel like it's a strain, or you see two sets of sights, try tilting the gun within your hands. So if it's a line directly in front of your face, just tilt it to one side or the other, like align it with your left eye or your right eye. And that's what we saw in that video.
It worked.
I came in and made that suggestion, and then bing, 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 you were hitting. So what'd you think about the Ruger Wrangler?
I mean, if my wife wouldn't kill me, I'd buy one of those today. Like, I really do like that gun. That's a good gun for somebody that doesn't have guns, and would like to have a little bit of protection. I think that's a perfect gun.
It's got a lot of utility. So I have some people that buy it kind of like that. Like, I don't have anything and I want to start here. And then once they get the feel of guns, they're like, I want a little more.
Sure.
But the thing about this is you always love this. You go back to plinking with it. You take a new shooter out with it. You use it as an extra. So like, you always get your value out of this. But I got to tell you, I have a little bit of a sales tactic, because I hear the reply that you just said. My wife would never allow it. One time a guy said that, and I said, call her. And he's like, ha, 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 ha. I'm like, no, get out the phone and call her. And it was so funny because he dials her up and he's like, hey, honey, I'm at the gun shop, and I was just telling him that, I would buy this, but you would be mad. And she's like, you're a grown man. she's like, if you want the gun, just buy it. Don't be such a... I can't.
Right.
It's not one of the 7 words, but I'm not going to say it.
Yeah.
But she said, "Don't be such a sissy." And the dude, like, he didn't have a choice.
Are you calling me a sissy? Is that what you're doing right here?
No,
in a roundabout way. You're calling me a
saying-
sissy.
No,
Call
the
your
wife.
wife.
I'm saying if you called her, she might say that. No, it was too funny because guys do that. They're like, I'd buy that in a heartbeat, but my wife would kill me. And then once she says yes, I'm like, you were just saying that.
Yeah.
So
Where's that card? Get the card out.
Until she's like,
Swipe it right now. So we got Bryce shooting the Ruger Wrangler. Let's roll that.
I think I nicked it on that one.
Oh, there you go.
Got it.
Nice.
Is that all of them?
I think you have one more.
Uno más.
I always lose count.
So it's a skill that we recommend you try to develop, is counting your shots from a personal defense scenario.
Oh, sure.
But one of the things you see in police shootings is under stress, you can fire like 17 shots, and your perception is you fired like 4.
Right.
And even in target shooting, it's easy to do. So I want to thank you guys. We got more coming up with you, but it really means a lot you taking the time out of your day and your schedule to be with us here on the Gun Shop Show.
Been fun.
Thanks for having us. Of course.
We'll be right back on the Gun Shop Show.
Hey there. We got your lab results back. It looks like you have a fever, and the only prescription is more Gun Shop Show.
Welcome back to the Gun Shop Show. We're joined by the guys from Dirt Road Comedy. We're laughing all during the break, and laughing is exactly what you'll be doing if you get to catch one of these shows. You guys have a whole schedule of shows coming up that you mentioned you were booked a little ways out. Remind everybody where you're going to be and how to look up a list of those places.
DirtRoadComedy.com is typically going to be your best calendar. I should probably update it a little bit, but we've got shows. This is airing Saturday, right? So
Yeah.
we got a show in Bolivar tonight, Saturday night, Bolivar, Missouri, at the Boiler Room. And then next weekend we're going to Moberly, Missouri, and Edina, Missouri. Edina we went up right as COVID was hitting, and they couldn't get enough people, and we're like, we'll come back later.
Nice.
So heading up there, and then we're making a little run the end of June, early July. We're going to hit St. Louis on the way through, and then we got North Carolina. We're doing
You got an Indiana show there, too.
Oh, Indiana.
Yeah, St. Louis and Indiana.
And then North Carolina is a bunch of what are they? Army
Green Berets.
Green Berets.
Oh,
It's going to be
nice.
like all Green Berets, which is going to be nice for me to not be the biggest badass in the room.
Because normally,
Yeah, that'll wear you out.
Normally, it's me having to be
sold.
like, if something goes down, I'm the guy that's going to have to take care
Yeah, I
of it.
can
So it's
tell
going to
that.
be kind of nice to not
Yeah.
have to do that. And then we're going down to Florida, right up by around Jacksonville. So
yeah, I feel like I spent a lot of time talking about how you can do shows off the side of your motorhome, which is a really cool and unique thing. But for a lot of our listeners who would just drive to a venue to just pay a ticket price, not because a lot of those, I assume, a good portion of the motorhome shows are private events.
yep.
People have hired you to do that. But just to be clear, the show that is tonight, Saturday, did you say in
Bolivar.
Bolivar? What kind of venue is that in?
It's a really cool. It's probably the coolest place we get to play. It used to be the actual boiler room for the university. It's
Oh,
like right
that is
off
cool.
the university. So it's real kind of industrial look on the outside. And then this guy has taken it and he's built a big stage, got awesome sound system. He built like a balcony in it. It'll hold like 100 or so in there. And then off to the side, there's like a little bar. And then he has food. He does a lot of music shows, and it's kind of a one price, includes all your food, drink, and everything.
Oh, okay.
So we're going to do kind of that theme. So you get the show, and then we're going to have Busch Light and wine.
Because of
And-
course you would.
Busch Light
You
and
seem,
wine.
you seem like a very Busch Light kind of
Yeah,
fella.
I do a few TikToks with Busch Light, and then I sent it to them, and they sent me like a flannel shirt
Oh,
and
nice.
stuff. So now
sweet.
that's all we drink is Busch Light.
Yeah, that's all it
all
took
it takes,
to buy
yeah.
you was one flannel shirt.
Yeah, one flannel shirt. So for like 8 years, I will be drinking.
You
Busch
can't get
Light,
this
guys.
flannel just anywhere.
Yeah, this is sponsorship flannel.
Yeah,
Busch Light flannel.
So
There's an old saying that we're, man, I don't know I don't normally run into the 7 words on the show, but there's a saying, something in tall cotton.
yeah.
And you guys are kind of something in tall flannel.
Yeah.
With Busch Light there.
It's fancy. We went to Nashville.
It's fancy.
And they don't treat Busch Light with such high regards
They do
down
not.
there.
Are they natty light people?
No,
No, they make fun of all that stuff.
yeah,
Really?
They
They
couldn't
fun.
believe that people actually
Purist.
drank Busch Light.
Yeah.
Wow.
But like Missouri, like we go Iowa, Nebraska, like every place, like places we go, they're like, oh yeah, we got Busch Light. Like
Heartland.
they love it, and everybody else is drinking Busch Light.
Yeah.
But yeah, Nashville, they kind of looked down on us like we were Keystone guys or something.
I ain't trash.
Come on,
Right?
dude.
What are they all craft people out there? Like all hiding,
Yeah.
hide mighty with the craft.
Budweiser.
Like kind of looked at you with Bud Light even there. I'm like, come on, what's wrong with you guys? This is what
Huh?
the Midwest
Hey
does.
man,
so.
you're just trying to watch your waistline, man.
I
You're
know.
drinking light.
Gotta stay looking good. So.
Let's I wanted to say the ticket price. That's what I wanted to you mentioned the all-inclusive thing. I think myself included, wasn't really sure like what's it cost to go see comedy.
Yeah.
And when we got to go, we saw Dusty Slay, who's kind of fits right into if you're gonna laugh at Dusty Slay, you're gonna laugh at Bryce Stanley, and I'm sure Jerad too. but that was like $25 for a ticket, and I got to see both you two and a couple other funny guys. So what is the show you just described? Like, what does it cost to attend?
We're doing $30 a ticket, and then it's a lot of tables, so it's $100 for a table of 4. So,
That's
still.
That's a great deal. I mean, most people are going to go spend that on a meal anyway.
Yeah.
And to get to spend the night laughing with friends, it was just a different experience for me. I left there. My only complaint was that my upper jaw hurt, literally from smiling and laughing.
Like you were frozen in that.
Yeah, it was like I can't hang. I got to work those out. I got to go see more comedy.
Yeah, watch a show here and there.
Yeah.
We have ticket prices all over the board. It's funny when we started these small towns. A lot of the small towns will act like their people are all poor, and it's like they can handle it. Like I don't know if we can get away with a $5 ticket. I'm like, come on.
Yeah.
They're buying cigarettes. They're buying. They're coming out to eat. They can handle it. But we usually go from 10 to 25, 30.
That's
Depends on kind of what
such
the
a
show
good
is
deal.
and what we're doing, so.
And I think people don't understand. Like, yeah, it's fine to watch a Netflix special or watch a funny clip on YouTube, but to see stand up in person, it's totally different. I mean,
it is a different animal, yeah. And every show's different, just depending on the crowd and what happens and who's reacting to what. And yeah, you can watch the same person multiple times and it's different. So
yeah, I could definitely see it.
Live's definitely cool.
Yeah, the point of view of being in the audience versus watching it on TV is pretty. It impacted me a little bit. I've been a fan of comedy most of my life. I've watched a lot of stand up, and that was the first time I ever actually went to see a stand up show, and it was awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was interesting to see how there might be one joke that everybody thought was funny.
Yeah.
And then there'd be one that for some reason just tickled me, and I'm like,
why aren't you people laughing more?
And I'm laughing, and it's almost getting like I'm still on this, and I'm still laughing, and no one else is. Like, I start to feel weird about it.
We both have lines in our sets that we think are hilarious that don't work very often.
Yeah,
and
that's pretty much
when
my
he
line.
does one of those lines that I know doesn't work very often, and he gets a laugh. I'm like, that was it.
Nice.
And then I've got some like that too. It's like,
Or sometimes there's one that always gets a laugh and it doesn't, and that's when I laugh. Like if he's doing and it's silent when it's usually supposed to laugh, that's when I'm like,
Gotcha.
Do you guys feed each other material at all?
we just run stuff off each other.
Yeah, we work off each other a little bit. We do. We're starting a band. It's a pretty high rocking band.
Oh, nice.
And we'll probably bring that out Saturday night.
Nice.
I just bought a ukulele.
Oh, you did buy one?
I did. It's supposed to be there tomorrow.
Yeah.
How much time have you spent
He's your
learning to play the
bandmate.
ukulele?
I've never played the ukulele.
Nice.
So that should work
You don't
out.
need anything.
Yeah.
So you guys gonna do a Flight of the Conchords thing?
We've
Kind of a cross between that and
before COVID, we did a
Tenacious
test
D.
run. We did about 15 minutes and never played a song, and then we just left the stage.
So you're just holding the instrument?
Yeah, we're just holding the instruments.
we
Getting them
named
all
the
primed.
band.
talking about it.
Love
so.
it. We have a band too. It's the Gun Shop Show band.
Oh yeah. We've this is ZZ Top Gun.
I noticed she had a guitar over there.
Yeah.
Maybe
So we
she-
rock out to bring in the segment for checking the voicemail.
Yeah, we shred. Sometimes it gets pretty high production. And in fact, in the next segment, I'll give you guys a little insight into what kind of happens with that. But I want to get back into that. We'll finish talking about the guns that we have and talking about your comedy. It's something that I enjoy very much. Stay with us. This is The Gun Shop Show.
No, I did.
Uh-oh. Gotta do it right. Don't leave them hanging. Gulp, 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 gulp.
So, sometimes when the production value gets a little too high, and I'm afraid that people will start thinking for example, they might think that I drink something other than Busch Light.
Right.
Then I do the sip cam, make sure that there's a little bit of problem with the way the show comes together.
Yeah.
Just to keep us humble, really.
Yeah.
Is anything.
Keep Showtime off your back.
Right.
You don't need all
Need all
those.
these
I get
offers.
tired. Yeah, I get tired of the
HBO.
offers.
HBO.
Stop already.
Quit
Gosh.
calling.
Can you take
We're
a
not
hint?
That good.
Yeah. Did you not see the sip? It was untimely and unpleasant to look
And
at.
we
Right.
left it in there.
And all the names are usually misspelled or have the wrong names on them.
Right before the break, you were telling us you're getting ready to form a band.
Yes.
Tell us about how you've done at least one show with the band.
We've done one show. They're at the Boiler Room in Bolivar. They have a jam session once a month, and we showed up and we debuted our band. And half the crowd thought we were going to play something, and they were quite disappointed. We did about 18 minutes and never played a song. And we just kept leading into songs. You know, we'd tell them about an Indigo Girls song we were going to sing, or let's do Black Water by the Doobie Brothers, you know, and they'd get a little excited. And then we'd go back to naming our band.
Yeah.
It's mostly me making up bands that I've been in and him calling me out on it. And then I just drop the number of bands I've been in. I start with I've been in 74 bands in my life.
Oh, snap.
And then every time he calls me out on one, I'll be like, I've been in 73 bands. All right. But it's some big bands. Like, I don't know if you guys know the band Sugarland. When they started, there was three.
I'm familiar with it.
Yeah, there was three of us in that band.
Nice.
And then,
I thought the other one was a girl.
yeah, that wasn't me. You're right. So, you know, it's just like that. Just stuff like that. We just keep going.
Nice.
You know, it seems two dudes in a band seems to be pretty acceptable.
Yeah.
Or two dudes and a woman.
Yeah.
Right.
But three dudes in a band is a lot like we rode three dudes in the one bench seat of the truck. And there's just
And got called out.
a certain number when it gets
Yeah.
Yeah.
it's less.
I thought it looked.
When you get
I
in the
thought it looked
menage.
very
Two-handsy,
friendly. I thought you
two-handsy.
guys looked friendly.
It was friendly.
We were cozy. Now, do you guys only play the hits?
We have a band, and a lot of times we have camera.
You gonna show off right now?
But sometimes we rock out, and it's a side effect of how hard I shred. To be honest with you,
Right.
And a lot of times the camera messes up, so you don't get to see me, but I'm shredding hard.
Yeah.
And I mean the evidence is ample.
Yeah, sometimes
that I
it's
can-
color bars like that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it just
sometimes.
malfunctions.
Yeah.
Audience
Logan's out of the
discretion.
band
Yeah.
every time.
I'm in the band, then they kick me right back out. Every time.
So you mentioned that some of your shows there's as little as $5 or $10, depending on the venue.
Yeah.
$30 including a meal. Like you're gonna go spend $30 on dinner anyway. So
Yep.
go check you guys out. And I really urge people to book you. You won't be disappointed. I think that would be a great way to really put a party over the top. You wouldn't expect to get the level of comedy that you guys put out. Anything else that you guys do content-wise that you would want to tell the listeners about, where they could check you out, see you online somewhere?
I've got a oddly large TikTok following.
Oddly large.
Yeah.
I'm not on there, so I don't know like what.
Yeah.
Oh, you're on there.
I got like 140,000 people follow me on there. So yeah, it went
gosh.
went a
Wow.
little weird during COVID. On there, mostly I do. You know how you get a friend request from somebody that like they look like a supermodel, but their name's like Stephen James or
Yeah,
something.
they've
And you're
hijacked-
like, something's not right here. I accept all those. When they friend request me, and then I just wait, and they'll start messaging me, and then you can tell real quick that their English is really, really bad.
Yeah.
That they're not, they're not actually from Des Moines like they say they are.
They want to know if you heard about that $50,000 from
Yeah.
DHS.
Yeah. So yeah, they're at some point they're going to try to get money from me, and I just see how long I can tell them ridiculous stories.
Oh, I've been doing the same.
Without sending money.
I told one I was a paraplegic and I couldn't call.
Yeah. So it's a lot of that stuff. But I sent one, my best one, I sent her 2 boxes spring-loaded glitter in them. I sent her one, and she
really?
still didn't give up. Yeah.
You legitimately
Yeah, I actually mailed them to her.
those glitter bomb things.
Yeah.
So
It was terrible.
I honestly thought I was real clever because I've messed with them. But I have never physically sent them a package
Yeah,
in the
that's the
mail.
only
You got it
one.
on a
Yeah.
whole nother level.
No,
That's the
you-
only one that's
yeah.
ever given me their address. And she claimed she was like in Miami, but this went to some Gainesville, Florida or somewhere. And then after that, I started talking to her as if I had left my phone at the strip club. And the bouncer at the strip club had my phone. So now she was talking to the bouncer at the strip club. And I would send her pictures of Phil Collins. And so she thought she was talking. And so then Phil Collins was going to send her. another box. So I sent her another box with glitter in it.
Phil Collins is Trevor's real
She was not
dad.
having it. Really?
That's where I get my middle name
His
from.
middle name's Collins.
Nice.
Trevor Phil Collins Smith.
Which is better than Trevor Feel It in the Air Tonight Smith, which is not somebody you want to ride 3 wide with in a pickup truck.
Right.
Because he was feeling it.
You know, and one thing I like to do with the scammers is tell them that I'm a better scammer and that for a small price I can teach them how to up their scam game.
Right. I did tell one like that. And they finally admitted they were in like Nigeria. And I was like, I can, you're making some mistakes here. And they're like, really? Can you help me? And I'm like, no, I'm not really going to help you. But, there's a few things you got to tighten up.
Yeah,
So.
you need to get some of this locked down. I mean, I know that a $400,000 inheritance could be real. Mm-hmm. I just don't know that a prepaid Amazon gift card scratching the back off
is going to release that.
Right.
Funds.
I mean, even a fee. I can believe a fee, but why are we getting Jeff Bezos involved in this transaction?
Yeah, they want Steam wallet cards a lot, and they want eBay. Sometimes they want eBay cards. I've had to send eBay cards to get federal grants.
Oh, that makes sense.
So
Yeah,
but that
that's
kinda makes
standard
eBay's got
government
the-
You wouldn't
procedures.
believe how indignant they get when you like put them off. Just
Right.
it's like, why are you doing this to me? You've lied to me. Like, what? You're scamming me.
Yeah,
like, what?
right.
You started it out.
It's crazy.
Well, my recent guy, he was kind enough to help take my credit card information over the phone since I was paraplegic. Just call me. You can read it off to me.
Yeah.
They're real helpful.
They come up with good options, but yeah, it doesn't work. And I have people that mail me like blank cards now.
Oh, really?
So I've had multiple people that'll just mail me a box of like eBay cards that they've used already with the receipts and everything because they always want the receipts. So then I'll send pictures and stuff, and then it's always some confusing mess. Like, what the heck happened? Like, oh man, he must have used it before. I thought that guy was shady at the store where I bought that, and then it just starts a whole new. You just try to see how long you can hold on before they figure it out.
Yeah. Well, the one good silver lining about this, if you want to know which friends of yours are the stupidest,
mutual friends.
Yeah,
of those, yeah.
You just check like, okay, listen, Gary, you're like the 67-year-old guy that lost one of his legs to diabetes. I know you think this chick wants to be your friend in the swimsuit. But she doesn't. Okay, but I'm glad to know you thought maybe there was a chance.
Most likely, he just wants some money from you.
Right? Yeah, it's actually a little bit sadder but I'm glad that you've made some funniness out of it. So we got a minute left. Let's talk about one of the other guns, and then if you guys are comfortable with it. Are we ready for the show overdrive after this?
Let me check. Yeah, we got one more on the radio.
Oh, okay. We got one more on the radio before we get into the show overdrive. The show overdrive is usually the part where we're hitting it off with somebody and everything's fine, and then it gets a little weird.
Yeah,
and
then comfortable again.
And I say weird stuff. And we have to
and then people
close the
don't
show
want to
out.
come back on.
And then there will be
anymore,
a shoe. A shoe will come out at some point.
Yeah.
We just want to prep you for that. It's been
Then you get hit in the head and going into the locker room.
you get sucker punched in the back of the head. You're like, yeah, it was cool. Everything was going fine. And then I got sucker punched in the back of the head. So what other guns do we have on
we
the
got
slate?
the Ruger Max
Max
Niner.
9, which
Max
people
Niner.
are going to be excited about this. This is the latest thing on the market. It competes with the SIG 365. It's the thing that everybody's been waiting on Ruger to come around with. Stay with us. We'll shoot it on the Gun Shop Show. Welcome back to the Gun Shop Show. We're going to get into the Ruger Max 9, and we got a chance to shoot it at the range, all of us here on the show, and our guests from Dirt Road Comedy. Joining us is Bryce Stanley and Jerad Langley. What an awesome comedy duo they are. If you just joined us, these are a couple guys that they go to standard comedy venues and do it, but they also have this, and it's getting ready to be on screen. They have this awesome mobile touring van that also doubles as a little pop-up venue. They can roll a stage out in front and book your private event anywhere that you want to have them. So there's a list of places, and I made a little video reading off the places on the side of your van that you can do it. And really, it's a nice smattering of locales.
Wide variety.
Yeah,
it's up and down. Class. Little class.
It's all classy. What are you talking about? It's all classy.
100% class.
Yeah. I mean, unless the arena is garage size.
I don't want to spoil it, but none of the places on the list, it would be inappropriate to drink Busch Light. That's just
right.
Simple enough description.
Yeah. So Nashville not on there then.
Yeah. No. So last show, and I want to make this clear. Every show we give away a great prize. Most of the time it's a gun. Sometimes it's a gift card. Last show we did a steel target, and what you've seen us shoot in this show was a steel target. And one of the benefits of that, you don't got to go reset it up. You never have to replenish the paper. You never have to try to use a spotting scope to see where you hit. You hear that ting, it deflects the bullet backwards and down in a safe way. And so that's what we gave away last show. And when you share the feed and you tag 5 of your friends, you get entered. And sometimes the odds are really good.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not giving away our back alley numbers or our technical back end information, but let's just say sometimes it's been real good.
You're better off playing the gun shop show than pick 5 or pick 3.
The lottery. Let's just say it's a good deal. So with a little bit of some fanfare, you got anything besides a drum roll today, Trevor?
I got my snare drum roll.
Could you do Let's Get Ready to Rumble?
Let's get ready to rumble.
Not bad off the cuff. The winner of the AR-500 3/8-inch steel gong target is Miss Leandra Rhodes. Yay! Congratulations.
Thank you for sharing and tagging.
Thank you so much, all of you that shared and tagged. It helped spread the word of the Gun Shop Show and help make Leandra a winner. Leandra, all you have to do is reach out to us between now and the next show, and you will take home your steel target. I read that as Leanne Rhymes initially. And
easy to do.
Think of as strawberry.
Same person.
Strawberry wine.
Did she sing that?
Nope.
I have no idea.
That's Deanna Carter.
There you go.
Oh,
Thank
snap.
you. See, I have this problem. I'm a product of the Napster generation.
So they were all named
They were wrong.
Right? Yeah.
So I grew up and like, my favorite Leanne Rhymes song is Strawberry Wine. It was never her.
That's hilarious.
Blue.
That was Leanne Rhymes.
Yeah. Yeah, she did a cover of Crazy by Patsy Cline. That's a good generational
Fantastic
skip.
cover.
Yeah.
Yeah, like that. I remember old people being like, I never thought anybody could do Patsy, but that Leanne, that young Leanne Rhymes, I tell you what, they say country music's dead, but Leanne Rhymes just entered the building. Okay, the Max 9, the Ruger Max 9. So literally I went on vacation, came back, Ruger made a whole new gun. And that is the Ruger Max 9. And Logan, you got it on screen. Give us just let's give it just a.
Let it shimmer in the light.
There we go.
Give us a rundown on what makes this pistol different than what was on the market before, and why someone might want it.
So the nice thing about the Ruger Max 9 here is in this tiny micro compact pistol, we're getting 10 rounds of 9mm.
And that's really the basis of what makes this unique. And as a lot of our listeners know, the SIG 365 and the Springfield Hellcat, all of those micro compact guns are all contingent on the design of a magazine, which
Yes.
to me, in my non-engineering brain, it feels like, why couldn't we have done this all along? Like, we've had metal and we've put the rounds in it for the last 40 years, and one day's like, scoot them over a little bit, you can hold twice as many. Like, I don't know why, but it's all dependent. Here, pop that mag out for me. So it's all dependent on this semi-stack magazine. So typically before, you had either single stack, which means the bullets would lay in, like I'm going to try to hold up 2,
One right on top of the
One
other.
right on top of the other, straight up and down. That's
like
a
that.
single stack mag. Or you would have a double stack mag where they're kind of 1, 2. A semi-stack mag has a balance between that. So you don't have to have the completely fat grip of a double stack, which means it's going to be very concealable on your body. For someone like me who carries a gun on their person everywhere I go, including the beach, including in states that I don't travel all the time, I carry a gun on my person all the time. So the need to have it not show up under a t-shirt, not have it show up in a place where maybe I don't want everyone to know I'm carrying a gun. Being able to have 10 rounds capacity, not have to sacrifice and go to 6, or I'm sure there's a 12-round mag that comes with this gun. To be able to have all of that and carry it in such a concealable package is the huge edge. So tell us what other features, Logan, this gun offers.
So the nice thing about this is it's relatively lightweight. It also feels really good in your hand, has really good ergonomics, a nice texture, kind of reminiscent of the LCP2. But one thing, best bang for your buck you're getting here is you're getting it's already optic cut. So that means you can put a red dot on it.
So that was something that was kind of coming out after the fact. So if you bought a SIG 365 when they first came out, they did not have an optics cut.
Nope.
You could go spend money having a machinist cut that out and add a red dot sight to it. But the trend of more people shooting guns with a electronic sight happened. So SIG put out guns that came factory with that cut. And if you were just out of luck if you bought one of the early ones and then this other one came out. The nice thing about Ruger, that took a little longer to come to market, but it comes out at a price point that's already lower than the SIG, and it already has the optics cut with it, and carries Ruger's lifetime warranty. And as a
fantastic customer
every
service.
time that we get into Ruger on the show, I swear people are going to think like Ruger pays us money to sing their praises, but it's not true.
At least not yet, Ruger.
Yeah, right.
We're looking at you.
You heard us here. I've turned down all this stuff from HBO before because of the SIP situation, but they really genuinely like in the rare case that we have a problem, like you've had like a bent sight, it came out of the box and the sight was bent. You call Ruger and they're like, oh, that absolutely should not be like that. Let me get you a free one in the mail right now. Or let me send you a label. We'll fix it, send it back, no charge. I even called him one time. I was taking the gun apart and I lost a screw. I called him and told him, I said, I need to buy one of these screws. I lost it. She's like, no, let me send it out to you, no charge. Just totally above and beyond with their customer service.
They're great.
And so those are all the reasons to own a Ruger. But let's roll the clip and show all of the reasons why I'm sure the viewer wants to know about owning a Ruger. Get that safety off.
That trigger safety.
Yeah.
Takes a little getting used to.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that as soon as we get done with this clip. In the interest of time, Trevor, let's roll Bryce and everyone else, and then we'll all come back and talk about it.
All right, here we go.
This will look good in the movie too.
Yeah, exactly.
Dirt Road movie.
I always like the little tidbits of the conversation that we come back to.
Whoa, all right.
We got some promotional photos for that movie, by the way.
I think I'm nicking it.
You did a lot of nicking
This is
it.
Trevor reporting for the Gun Shop Show. Today we're shooting the Ruger Max 9. Let's see how it compares to other compact concealed guns and stuff.
I can't remember. We're trying real hard here, guys.
Just so you guys know, Trevor's not as much of a gun guy as the rest of us.
Yeah, as you can see, it hits.
Ringing that steel, though.
Yeah.
That's good.
That's pretty good.
Too bad.
I didn't want to upstage.
This is Logan reporting from the Gun Shop Show. We're shooting the new
Your
Ruger
guys'
Max
mobile
9.
home there.
It's
really,
Ruger's new micro compact
this is my
pistol.
favorite range trip we've
Let's
ever done.
See how it performs.
I wish we could have it on every range trip.
Each range trip should have its own dedicated mobile home.
Yeah.
I can't not look at my arms.
It's your arms?
Look at my arms.
It looks like you're wearing a gorilla suit.
It looks like
Or some
you're
kind of slave.
looks like you're half Palestinian, half Chiricahua.
What?
Like, I feel like they could zoom in and film a Bosley commercial off of your forearms.
All I did was go
He's a
see Bryce
universal
Stanley
donor.
I'm not
live
ready to lose
and then
my
Go
hair.
to Florida for 2 weeks and then stay at home for a week doing a home improvement project. And Ruger comes out with a new gun, and it looks kind of cool. So I'm gonna shoot it.
Spoiler
It's really
alert,
good.
I hit the target like all of the times.
Mm-hmm.
This is the last radio segment, right?
I think so.
Jump over on Facebook, type in Liberty Tree Guns, and stay with us for the shoulder drive of the Gun Shop Show.
There you lost it. Magic gun.
The Gun Shop Show, the Gun Shop Show. What is it? We don't know. The Gun Shop Show, the Gun Shop Show. Here we go, it's the Gun Shop Show.
Welcome back to the Gun Shop Show. I'm your host, Eli Bruton, owner of Liberty Tree Guns. And I guess the year anniversary show came and went when I was gone, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to take a second to legitimately give you guys a heartfelt thanks for a year. We could not have expected the show to go over like it did. A lot of you watch every week. Some of you only get a chance to watch bits and pieces, but all of you send your words of enjoyment and encouragement, and it's great to know that you're getting something out of it, and it's an absolute pleasure of mine, and I know that guys feel the same way, to be able to make this show for you every week. Thanks for making it successful. Thanks for to our sponsors. All of our sponsors that help make this possible. We obviously couldn't do it without you. It costs money to put it on the radio. It costs money to produce, and you guys make it possible, and we sure appreciate it. I've had a good time. We've been laughing during the breaks, talking with Bryce Stanley and Jerad Langley of Dirt Road Comedy. What a fun thing to get to do for a living, I would think.
Yeah, it is. It's kind of like not working. I mean, some nights it's like working, but most nights it's just fun.
Still better than any job I've ever had.
I can imagine.
I'd be curious. Sorry, go ahead.
We get to meet a lot of people all over the place, so it's just kind of fun.
I mean, that's one of the things that I've really enjoyed about doing this show is getting to meet so many people.
Yeah.
You know, if it weren't for the show, I wouldn't have got to meet you guys and several of the other guests that we've had on that we've built great relationships with, and hopefully you guys can stay a part of the Gun Shop Show family and we can have you back.
You bet.
That'd be awesome. But I'm curious to know, how did you both get into stand-up comedy?
I got divorced. That'll do it. Triggered the whole deal. I had done some just showing up at parties, like as a character. Like I did like this just redneck goofball character, and then I would do Carl Kringle, Chris Kringle's older and less successful brother, like at holiday parties. So I'd done some character stuff, and then when I got divorced, moved to Kansas City, and I was like, I'm just going to try regular stand-up. So went to open mic, and Jerad was actually hosting the first open mic I went to. And I figured I'd just start doing it. I mean, it's either going to do it or get out. Just when you're my age, you don't have a lot of years to screw around with it. So
how long did it take before you had a decent little bevy of comedy?
I'd say within a year or so, we kind of had things going where we could do shows. We did some 2-man shows probably earlier than we should have, but we'd make them work. But that was part of being older. You got a lot more experience to go back on.
Right.
So once we kind of figured out how to put things together and make them funny, then we built a pretty good show. And then now we do mostly 2-man shows. If we show up and they have a host or they have somebody that wants to go up, we'll let them go up. We're not gonna not let them go up, but Most of the time we just do 2-man. It's a 2-man RV, man. We don't have.
There's not room for another guy.
room for a third.
Physically, there's not room for a third.
There's not.
I mean, if you liked them a lot,
you'd have to really
Maybe.
like them,
Right.
Like them enough to set 3 wide on one bench seat kind of situation.
It would be comfortable enough at the very least.
Something.
So I presume that, I don't know this to be true about all comedians, but I presume that you were used to making people laugh in some form your whole life.
I mean, I was, always the cut up, and I heard a guy say one time, we were standing around and there was a bunch of open mic comedians, and that's what, a guy that comes in is like, well, yeah, I was the class clown. It's like, yeah, so were all of us. Now just get in line,
right.
Now put that up there and be funny, because it's, everybody can be funny in conversation, and, they might be able to do that, but then it's the honing the skill of taking that to the stage that's the work and the hard part.
I bet that people underestimate. Yes, well, elements of it come naturally. Yes, it's goofing around, but if you don't put some discipline to it, like write this stuff down, see what works, remember what works, you really probably couldn't do it professionally if you didn't treat it with that amount of being serious about not being serious.
Right.
No,
it's a lot of putting timing of things and putting one thing in front of another. It's like it's a lot of writing and wordplay, and you just gotta put it all together right. But there's more behind the scenes than you think. A lot of people think we just they'll just go up there and make fun of whoever's in the front row. It's like, no, that's not what we do. We got material we've worked on for years. So
do you film a lot of your stand-up so that you can reference it later?
I don't film a lot. We audio record almost everything we do.
Record everything.
That way you can kind of go back and listen to it. But
Yeah.
I don't do a lot of video. I don't put a whole lot of video on like YouTube and stuff either. A lot of these small towns, if you put our names on the flyer, then they go YouTube us and
Right.
Google us and find us. And if I got too much out there, they've heard too much of the stuff. So
I was worried, and I didn't watch a ton of Dusty Slay, but I'd seen clips and he was on the Tonight Show and stuff, and I was a little worried, like, am I going to go and hear this stuff? Because it's like when, but that actually became my beef with comedy movies coming out, is I would see like the trailer for it. I was like, that looks funny.
And that's the only funny part.
And then you go watch it and like, the trailer was all I really needed to, that's all I got out of that. And I could see that, and I think also, I would assume. So you really held the crowd, Bryce, in the show that I got to see. And it really went, I think, naturally for the room. You probably don't always have that if someone watches a YouTube video, especially if the audio isn't great or whatever. So if they get on there and they find some bits and they don't happen to click with that one clip, they might decide not to go to a show, which would be a huge mistake. So, but you said you do some stuff on TikTok. Tell us just a little bit more about that.
TikTok, I've got a wide variety of stuff on there. I do put some stand up on there from time to time because it's a minute, so I can put little clips on there. But most of it, it's just messing with people that are trying to get money from me. It started, my son wanted me on there. His name's Parker, and he's built like me. So we started Parkour Parker, and it's just him jumping around on stuff, and then me like trying to jump over him and that kind of stuff. We did a lot of that. And then recently, Jerad and I have added, how some people hunt ghosts, and then some people hunt Bigfoot. Jerad and I, we hunt Bigfoot ghosts, is what we do. We're called Parasquatch.
We're really good at
Paranormal Sasquatch investigators.
That's so niche.
That is very niche.
Yeah. So we've got some videos of us out hunting.
So what do you do?
Ghost Squatch.
Do you bring in elements of both, like of how you can feel the paranormal? Along with
it's a lot of.
We've got special equipment,
of course,
that have readings and stuff.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
And that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to spoil something on the show today. For the longtime listener of the show, we had an incident that occurred at Liberty Tree Guns with Nathan the Liberal. And Nathan the Liberal actually appeared as a guest on the show. Mm-hmm. And only people who know me like really, really close know it was me. So like it has like 4 million views or something.
Yeah.
So I'm going to roll that. And then, but the thing I really want to show you is tell you some of the stories of customers who have come in since they watched this video and their reaction to it. So Trevor, if you can pull up Nathan the Liberal and put that.
Yeah, let me get it up here. Give me a quick sec.
You think people are going to believe that it was you?
There's only one way to convince them.
There's only one way.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe
you're gonna do a live performance.
Maybe by the end of the show, we'll see if Nathan the Liberal can join us. So what was really weird is I was explaining off the air that moments before this happened, I was just trying to highlight the fact that we had a lot of product of these particular magazines in, and just like spur of the moment, like 20 seconds before I hit record, I decided that I would do it from the perspective of this liberal. And I hit record with no plan, and this voice came out of me, and this is what happened.
Let me unmute it here. Yeah. Sorry, I'm doing a lot of really bad producer style work here.
Just go ahead and back it up.
Somebody should definitely say something to me.
Bring that audio in for us.
And
hey guys, this is Nathan the Liberal, and today for my vlog, I am at what I believe is called a gun house. And this is a place where people go, and it starts out kind of fun and innocent in the beginning, and then they begin, oh my god, what is that? Oh my lord. Anyway, they get hooked on horrible things, such as firearms. I don't know. My sources tell me this is a 30 caliber clip. And see, immediately I'm drawn in. I'm like a kid, and this feels like candy. This is a very scary place. I don't know where I am right now. But I'm going to follow this to deliver this to you guys. So we have to get the word out. This is happening all around the country, right under our noses. More of these things. I'm shaking just looking at them. And I'm surrounded by, I can feel the evil radiating off of these things, and I'm just afraid of getting shot, honestly. One of these things could shoot me at any moment. And I'm still following it. I'm a couple hundred meters into this at this point, and I want to turn around, but I know for my YouTubers and my Snapchaps that you guys need to see where this leads, because at first you're starting off on just these little guys, and you never know where. I mean, it just keeps going forever. Oh my god. Oh, this is worse than I thought. These are automatic machine gun, lightning bolt, 30 caliber ghost guns, or so I've been told. These are the things that they carry them in. For example, this would be something that they would put one of these in, fully loaded with over 3,000 rounds, and go to, say, a Charlie Daniels concert or some other domestic terrorist meeting. More box of 30 caliber clips. I'm sorry guys, I'm shaking. According to my sources at this gun house, Liberty Tree Guns as they call themselves, these things are Just $5.49 while supplies last. Oh, and there's a baby one. Oh my! And it comes with 4 of these little kittens here. This is the worst kind of assault machine gun that they make, so I'm told. I've heard the AR-15 is very evil, but from what I'm told, if the AR-15 was like tequila, this is like that other kind of Mexican liquor with a worm in the bottom. Okay, guys, I'm gonna have to sign off. I'm feeling weak. Please find me. You can use the hashtag Nathan loves Rachie, of course, for Rachel Maddow. And find me on Twitter, Nathan the Liberal. Bye.
Oh, that's great.
So,
Very good.
like 2 weeks later, this guy comes in and he's like, Eli, did they ever catch that guy? I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, that guy that got in here and filmed that video. And I was just smiling because I was like, surely he's being funny, And he's like, I was like, oh, that was just, just being funny. And he's like, well, I didn't think it was funny. And like, this guy thinks that it's real and that this liberal really got to just jab in on us.
He uncovered the truth.
Yeah.
But the mixture of people that got it and thought it was hilarious to the people that were like, he's scared and there ain't even anyone around to pull the trigger. Idiot, liberal. It was too much fun making it. And then, it went viral and got a few million views. But it was pretty funny. And like, what blows my mind though is mid this liberal tirade about how terrible they are, he names the price and unlimited.
While supplies last. That was
It was so funny, but I think the funniest and strangest thing about it for me is like I didn't write any of that going out of it, and I wasn't trying to like be out of breath and scared. Like I was trying to hold this voice, and then I ran out of breath, and because I was, then I'm so scared, and it was an accident, but it was a lot of fun, and
I love it.
People still find us because of that. Every now and then it'll just get like someone will reshare it and it'll start cycling around again, and there are people that are still like, I can't believe that liberal's that stupid. It's hard to believe.
Yeah, a lot of gun humor in there that probably went over at least my head for sure.
Yeah, so there's some so like the I kind of mentioned the cult following that the AKs have, and that's a coincidence that was what was in the video. But people, the real hardcore tactical guy that likes an AR and AK, they kind of look down on it, or it's a little bit like dirty. So that's why I compared it to the tequila with the worm in it and all of that. But it was a lot of fun to make that, and a lot of people got a lot of enjoyment out of it. And a lot of people thought it was real. It was strange.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's kind of surprising a little bit, the range of folks that reacted to that.
One thing that I found surprising was one of the employees here came up to me. They were like, "Hey, I watched that video. Who's Nathan the Liberal?" And I was like, it's Eli. And he was like, "But who's it really?"
They worked here a while.
I know, and I was shocked.
So I want to see if any of our local, you have to be from Joplin to get this, but if you are a gun person that's been buying guns in Southwest Missouri and from Liberty Tree Guns or elsewhere, how strangely does Jerad Langley look like Brandon Spoggy from Brandon's Guns? You need a little more I might be insane look in your eyes, and it would be Spoggy.
Give him the crazy eye.
I need a little whiskey, maybe.
Yeah.
That would give me the crazy eyes.
Yeah, I love it. So we're going to let you guys out of here. You're on a schedule, but I want to spend just a little more time. If you wouldn't mind to share with us, like some of the ways that your comedy comes to be. Have you ever had a bit that was like an accident? You said it on stage and then somebody laughed and then you turned it into something real?
I would say that almost all of mine are something I said in conversation or said, and then figured out how to, and people were laughing, and so figure out how to put it on stage.
Okay.
Like that's kind of the way my stuff comes together. He writes jokes. Good jokes.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know where my stuff comes from a lot of times. Because a lot of comics talk about sitting down and writing, and I never do that. But yeah, we'll just I don't know.
Some idea will come up, and then we just milk it to death. Like we just
story
and figure stuff out.
You're back on the scratch. Yeah, toss. There you go.
We down in Nashville, we laughed about two different things. One, we can't because I think one of the words we're not supposed to say.
You can say it now. We're in the show overdrive or off the radio. Only our podcast.
We'll do the other one, but we were Def Leppard's song, Pour Some Sugar on Me.
Yeah.
Where it's like, so hot, sticky sweet, from my head to my feet. Well, I was like, I'll probably do this on stage tonight, but I was part of Def Leppard, and that part there where people come in, I started coming in, and we got into some creative differences. 'Cause they're like, so hot, sticky, sweet, from my head to my feet. And I'm like, so hot, so sticky, so hot and sticky, sweet and sticky. And they're just like, that's not right. That sounds a little weird. And I was like, no, that's what you guys were saying. I'm saying the exact same words. What's going on? So that's how.
So anyway, we got hours of laughs out of that.
We just kept singing.
Oh, that
is so hot and sticky.
Little sticky, a little bit funky too.
On my feet, it's sticky.
Perspiring.
A casual mention of sticky can have the sexual undertones,
right? But when you get into it that much, it's real creepy.
That many stickies is not the way you want to be.
You lose the rocker song.
Right? Yeah.
But, I don't know. That's where a lot of stuff comes up for me. Like it's just some weird deal, and I'll just start putting stuff together. I've got a whole bit about. I don't think I probably told it the night you were there. I don't tell it a lot of times, but about not growing up around hunting and going to meet my father-in-law, and he wants to take me deer hunting, and I agree to go, and then it's the whole story of going hunting, and then him deciding we just go fishing instead. But it's one of my better. I've been doing it for years, but I probably didn't do it the night you were there. You guys would. Probably
I don't think so.
That one though. So
yeah, I'd like to hear that. Hopefully, we get to go to one of your shows.
Yeah.
But
it's on my YouTube. I filmed a 30-minute special a couple years ago.
Oh, okay.
And it's in that one. But yeah, it's pretty clever.
It's kind of funny because whenever I was dating my wife, we had a similar deal, only went the other way for me. Like, I was dating her, and her dad was like, "I'm not so sure about you." And then one day he was working on some guns, and we started talking about guns. And like once we found the mutual, like of guns, I was accepted. So that was the thing that brought me in. But it could be either inclusive or divisive. You know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Well, my story's totally made up, but it's it was divisive.
Your voyage? I'm sorry, your cruise. Your joke about your cruise is that based
real?
On reality?
Or do you want to spoil that?
Some of that's reality. We didn't really go streaking. That the excursion is true. Most of that's fairly true.
So you actually did get trapped on a cruise ship during COVID?
Yeah. It was March 8th we headed out, and we were probably the last. There were very few cruise ships still out when we came back. We were out on a 7-day cruise, so 80s cruise. So yeah, we were out there jamming to Duran Duran and
nice.
And everybody else is home
just
freaking
back
out.
Home dying.
Yeah.
In droves.
Home dying in droves. Piling bodies. Right. We were having a good time.
Right.
I had a guy who was working for me a while tell me that he went on a Walking Dead cruise.
Oh boy.
Weird.
So like him and his wife were a big fan of Walking Dead, but he said it was really poorly executed.
Oh no.
Because like one night, he said we're like into the third night, and it was just a normal cruise. And they were like, hey, there were supposed to be some of the cast members of The Walking Dead, and we thought this whole thing was going to be like almost not haunted, but like zombie theme. And they were like, oh, yeah. wait a minute. And then like the same waiters went in the back and they had like crappy makeup on and they were like, here's your buffet.
God.
Like they had to be reminded.
Hopefully the buffet was filled with body parts because otherwise I'm not buying it as a Walking Dead cruise.
So I'm like shocked because he said that, well, they already had our ticket money. And he said it's almost like they forgot that they sold it to us as a Walking Dead cruise. Yeah. But there was like 2 cast members, and every night they were supposed to do this like meet and greet thing, and they just weren't like, they were like, oh, they're back in their room, and they've had something to drink, so they're not gonna be able to come out tonight. And people were starting to get mad, and like they were gonna request refunds. He said the last 2 nights they wheeled out the crew members, and they were like just completely shit faced. Like, and he said that like they couldn't even talk, and they were like, I'm a big fan of the show. So like these were the actors from the show. God. So they were like, yeah, we didn't want to. We wanted our money back at the end of that. I thought
nice.
A lot of the cruise stories I hear do not end good.
Yeah.
Like either they say, yeah, I went on a cruise and it was nice, and there's not much, or like, yeah, and that's when the infection started. And then like the story goes downhill.
Yeah. I don't think I'd go on one that wasn't like a 80s themed cruise now.
Really?
Because it was just, there was just stuff going on the whole time. I can't imagine one where you're just sitting around waiting to port and just going to the dining hall every night. It's just, it was fun. There was and we had decent music there. I mean, probably 4 of the top 5 bands backed out, but we still had Kool and the Gang, man.
That was
good.
So Kool and the Gang played like every night.
Oh yeah, which one of these guys was cool?
Yeah.
Whoever's singing, that's the cool guy.
That's Kool and that's the Gang. Yeah, it's very it's an entertaining show. Kool
Really?
Gang with the trombone and it's they go at it though. They had a lot of hits.
Really?
Yeah, you don't remember some of them, but then all of a sudden
you hear it and you're like,
this one.
oh,
I know this one.
Yeah.
So,
That's funny. And what's great about that joke too is regardless of your level of familiarity about the actual band, like it's funny if you know everything about the band, and it's also funny if you just kind of remember
Kool and the Gang.
You remember it was a bunch of people, but nobody remembers who's Cool, who's the gang.
Right.
What a brilliant bit that is.
Yeah, that was fun. I just kind of added that one in because I just got to thinking, I'm like, you know what? Like everybody in that dang band would get up there and sing. And it's like, it's yeah. And now I add that the washy guy.
Oh yeah.
I add now that like about the 5th guy, I finally recognized him. It's like, it's the washy guy. So he sings with Kool and the Gang now. So.
that was really fun that you can weave that stuff together.
Yeah. That's the fun part is the callbacks where you're bringing something from earlier in the set.
Yeah.
Those always work, and they're they're easy to get a good laugh.
I think that was one of the things that I found to be. You came across to me like a very seasoned comedian, because I've seen a few other and nothing, no criticism on some of the other guys there, but seems like when they're a little more green and they're starting out, like they don't have callbacks at all, or they don't flow.
Right.
Which I imagine is for most people that have never stood in a room of people at all and talked, let alone like the burden of they're expecting to get something out of the words that come out of my mouth. Like, I bet it takes a while to get comfortable enough to do that.
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it takes a while.
Definitely.
And then you finally settle in, and then still you'll get up there sometimes, and it's just something's not right with the crowd or something. And it's like, oh, this is work, and
the timing's all off.
And
is it grueling?
Oh,
yeah, it's a long time when you're
soul
up there.
crushing. If they're not, when they're just looking at you and they're not responding, and you still got to do it.
Yeah, how do you hold it together?
You just do it. Like, and that's really empowering. Once it's happened to you a couple times, nothing can feel that bad. You can't make me break. Like, I'll do this to one person. I'll tell my jokes to an empty room. I don't care now.
I've played music.
You know, when they said one of the first times I did 30 minutes, we were in a place and they literally sat there with their arms crossed looking at me for 30 minutes. And
that's rough.
I did it every minute of it.
And they were there for comedy?
Yeah. It was real rough.
I love the little, it wasn't so subtle eye roll. You're like, there's a little bit.
They thought they were, yeah. Now, that was a rough one. But like I said, like after that changed everything. It changed my mentality, changed how I started my set, what I needed to do before I mean, all those failures help build everything you're doing.
Absolutely.
So, now, my wife said something about, it's so brave. I was like, I'm not brave anymore. I was brave when I sucked.
Yeah.
Now, I'm pretty confident in that if you just listen, you're going to like me. That's not brave. It was brave when I don't know. You guys might like me, you might not. That was brave.
Yeah.
It's not anymore.
Do you typically acknowledge a rough room?
Yeah.
I've gotten where I
subtly and depending on how,
Yeah.
That's what I end up going into when they're not. There's two. There's the not really getting it, and then there's the distracted room.
Impolite.
Impolite room. And those are probably worse for me because there's people over here wanting to hear and they can't because this guy's and you're in some weird place where you can't just pull the you need to shut the hell up kind of thing.
Yeah,
so you just kind of got to go. So that's where I just start.
Which is my go-to. I love to tell people
acknowledging but what didn't work.
Yeah,
that didn't work. You didn't like that. Okay.
And that usually gets a little chuckle out of everybody, and you can move on.
It's obviously we don't do comedy here, but we are presenting something that people watch, and so I'm a little more mindful when I'm watching this person, like they've spent time on this and all that, and I noticed that Dusty Slay flubbed one of his jokes, and luckily, and I'm sure this comes with time, like he just moved on, and I don't think a lot of people noticed that his whole punchline, he was trying to set up his rear main seal joke, and he said the wrong words, but because like he just let it land like a punchline anyway, people still kind of laughed, and he just moved on to the next one. I imagine that's sometimes you gotta take your hits and go to the next thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of bits, that'll be like a 5-minute bit, and you'll do about a minute of it, and then be like, you
aren't coming along with me on this.
Yeah.
I've done that with that deer hunt story. I'll get into it, and then they're like not following me, and I'm like, well, all right, let's just move on to this.
Pivot.
Yeah. I've got a wristband like the quarterbacks wear, and I put a bunch of one-liners on there. So typically, if something's going south or if the crowd's not paying attention, I'll just pull that out of my pocket and just let them guess. They give me numbers, and I just tell whatever number that is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So, I thought you meant you casually look at it. You're saying you're.
No, I pull it out and be like, "You guys want to hear some one-liners?" And they'll be like, "Number 1 to 31, give me a number," and then I'll just click it open.
Kind of brings everybody back to focus.
They do
and
kind of focus.
It's a good tactic.
That makes sense.
It really
like
is, 'cause
crowd
then everybody,
participation.
27. Like everybody wants to holler out a number, but now
they realize
paying attention.
we're trying to do something.
We're part of the show now.
Yeah, like hey, we had to resort to this because we weren't, doing our part of it.
And then I can always blame it on them if the joke doesn't work. Be like, I don't know if I had to pick that one. That's not the best one.
14 was not your best.
Bad choice, crowd. Blame it all
you
on
wrote
heckle
them
the
all.
crowd.
You wrote them all, and all they did is yell out a number, and then you blame them.
Thanks for ruining the show. Appreciate that.
That's too funny. I wanted to ask you too. You mentioned you put some content on the internet, not all of it. Do you struggle at all with the negativity, like in the comments when you put something out?
Not too much. I don't get a whole lot of it. When I do, I typically ignore it. I get negative stuff on TikTok from time to time.
Yeah.
But I just,
Yeah, people say like, "This guy's not funny." Do you get that?
I've never heard that before.
No, they're usually just making fun of my looks.
Yeah, usually it's
attack your.
No, I don't get a whole. I don't have enough out there to get it too much.
I know that even some national level stars will get drugged down because somebody's giving them shit in the comments.
Yeah.
Critics don't bother. People who are critics aren't creating anything.
Yeah.
They're just miserable people trying to bring other people down.
Oh, yeah.
That doesn't bother me any. I mean, who cares?
That's a great attitude.
It really does not matter. They're not out doing anything. There's nothing you can take away from me now. now that I've done it, now that it's a thing.
Yeah.
I don't care what you say. Like, did I have a bad night? Maybe. Whatever. But there's nothing you can say that's going to hurt me at this point.
You're like, I'm up here making fun of myself. You think that it bothers me if you make fun of me?
Like,
you're just doing my job
Nobody
for me.
can hate me as much as I do. So, you're not going to bring me down.
That's something I was curious about. I know some people just don't read them at all. Some people like to take those people and roast them a little bit, and sometimes that's good fodder for comedy, and sometimes it's just an outlet to deal with it kind of did bother
I don't even
them.
like to hear the good stuff though. Like I don't need somebody to tell me they liked. I want to hear them laugh when I say it. I want to see their reaction right now. I want to see them spontaneously clap because they loved what I just said. But afterwards, when they go, "Oh, that was really good."
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's over. I mean, I believe you, but that doesn't feel good. Like that doesn't.
I can see
feel
that.
as good.
Yeah, people are like, "Hey, you know that thing you did, which you spent time thinking up? That was good." Like, yeah.
Do you know I hate
to tell you why it's good?
Yeah. I know why it's
Right. I hate when you're having a conversation with them and you say something funny and they're like, "That's funny."
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, then laugh.
Comics a lot of times do that. Like if you're hanging out with comedians and somebody says something, there's a lot of that.
I've heard that.
That's good. You're not going to get a laugh out of me, but that's good.
Yeah, like I'm insulated to a true laugh. Like that's. I've been laughing my whole life. You're not going to get a cheap laugh out of me.
Has there been any comments that you've seen that just hit you different? Since the show's been airing?
Not anything in particular that's really bothered me. I quit paying attention to that for the same reasons. Like sometimes we'll talk about a gun off the cuff, and it's not ever the people that watch it really for the vibe that we're going for. It's the people that came here for hardcore technical information, and then we give a little bit, like we talk like we did today in the show, like here's why you'd want one of these guns and here's why we enjoyed shooting it.
Yeah, but we're not like, this is a 3.5-inch barrel with fiber optic front sides and rear sides, and they're made out of
and
this
sometimes the guys
aluminum or
will get in the comments and be like, well, these guys they don't know jack about what they're talking about. How do they even have a gun store? But most people that get it, like your fans go to your defense. You don't even have to. It's look, this is what they do, and this is why we love them. So you can take it or leave it. That's kind of how I feel about it for sure.
I manage the YouTube comments mostly in part when people have questions about stuff. I'm doing the business element of it, trying to answer questions and give the appearance of, that the store is taking care of those. But the criticisms, I try to approach that with, a sense of humor in a way. Like you took time out of your day, you're scrolling past, you watch this video and you're just like, oh, these sons of guns, I got to tell him something. I've been personally attacked for running my mouth. Some guy's like, the guy in the hoodie needs to shut his mouth.
There was
I'm cool.
There was one comment that stuck with me.
Oh yeah?
They got me.
It was nothing to do with you looking Palestinian.
It was nothing like that, but it was in person. Someone came in, and I was out on the sales floor for some reason.
Wait, is this what you told me earlier?
Yes.
These guys need to see your intro to understand it.
Oh, no. This is a different one.
Okay.
But she came up to me. I don't remember what I was doing. But she was like, hey, you're on the Gun Shop Show. And I was like, yeah. She's like, you're not that short. And I was like, wait. People think I'm short?
You've thought
I mean, I am short, but people think I'm short?
Yeah.
It just hurt me here.
It's it is weird too, because like we just bought some $60 webcams and started doing this, and you obviously some people are watching it, but I've had weird moments. Like I was at my son's basketball game on a Saturday morning, which is when the show airs, and I'm walking around this corner and I hear and this guy's like, and I look up and I realize he's watching our show. And he looks up at me, and he's like, "How are you? How are you? You're here." Like, he just assumed it's live, But he was watching our show, and they'll like organically walk by this guy.
That's awesome.
But it's pretty funny how there's nothing but like a room, and a thing that plugs into a USB port. But that separation of you're on TV, like that's all you need to be famous. And then they're going to treat you differently because they saw you on the television.
Yeah, I've been asked for my autograph.
Have you?
Like, yeah, I'm like, I'm noon. I'm on a Sunday on KODE. It's not that big of a deal. There's more famous people in this room than me right now.
I've had fans walk up to me and say something. Like this one guy, he walked up to me and he was like, hey man, you on the Gun Shop Show? And I was like, yeah. He's like, oh, I knew it was you. You look just like him.
You look just like the guy. Like, it's had his name on there the whole time.
Right, he's at Liberty Tree Guns where Logan is.
So, one last thing before we wrap up, is there any takeaway that you guys want to share about your experience shooting guns today?
I enjoyed it. I wish I could shoot guns more often. I just never really around them, but yeah, it was fun. I thought we had a good range of stuff today too, because the 22 one was just super easy to shoot. It felt pretty easy, and then the other two were obviously I wasn't real good with hitting targets with them. So, but no, I thought it was fun. Like I said, I wish I was around it more.
I appreciate the vibe you guys have with the easygoing and not making it intimidating to people who aren't real comfortable with guns. You're not doing, trying to show off or anything. It was really helpful, and so I didn't feel awkward or anything. It felt nice to have you guys around with your vibe. I would think that that would be a good instructor type feel, because I really, and just seeing, helping me. You made me hit a target just by saying, hey, why don't you just do this a little bit? And that was so awesome. So I really appreciate the vibe of everything you guys did.
Thank you. I wasn't fishing for a compliment, but I'll take it. No, we really enjoyed having you, and honestly, the stuff you described, that's how we are as people, and the French benefit of that is
got those French benefits.
You mean freedom benefit?
Oh man, my cousin told me that she was. I don't know if this is true, but you remember that whole thing?
Yeah.
So it was right around the time when everyone stopped saying French fries and started saying. But apparently, somehow in that, the Dixie Chicks said something wrong.
Yeah.
And my cousin's like, I was driving down the road and I heard that on the news. I grabbed their CD and threw it out my sunroof. Really, like, those songs are unenjoyable to you now.
It just can't.
I just imagine the 10 o'clock news that night. You're like, local woman walking down the road. I'd taken out with CD, flying CD.
Just one more bit of damage that the Dixie Chicks did to America.
They're tearing the country apart.
Well, they're the Chicks now. They changed their name.
Yeah, they go back together.
Oh, I didn't think about Dixie.
They had to drop
Chicks.
Dixie, so they are just the Chicks now.
Interesting.
Which is misogynistic. So I don't know how they.
Yeah, really. Soon they'll just be the
females,
right?
No, because that's gender.
You can't,
there's no dicks.
No, women can
anymore.
say that. Men can't say that.
The
non-binary.
The non-binaries.
Foul.
Whatever
Just
you
people.
want to be.
Just people.
That really, though, I was starting to say that was the French benefit of our business is really just treat people like that. And so anytime you guys are coming through and you'd like to be on the show, you got something new you're working on and you're promoting, we'd love to have you on and laugh with you and shoot with you. So as one final takeaway, where, again, can folks find everything that you do?
Probably the easiest is dirtroadcomedy.com.
Got it.
You can find each of us on
dirtroadcomedy.com.
Facebook or Dirt Road Comedy on Facebook, but it all kind of weaves together. So.
All right. Well, I know that I'll be trying to catch a show, and if not, maybe even book an entire show here in our town, and we'll be following along on your journey.
Yeah.
Thank you guys so much for being on the show.
Thanks for having us.
All right,
Appreciate it.
Had a good time.
Oh, there it is.
Told you there was
The
gonna be a
Fable
show.
2.
Filling up the screen. Look at that. Look at that tread.
That's a
Look
little
at
bit
that dookie.
That's a little bit
Gross.
a little bit of dry dog poop in this scenario.
Wow.
On the
So
Gun Shop Show.
that's the tradition. And when we were like really new and nervous on camera and stuff, I was trying to signal Trevor verbally that I wanted to end the show. So I'm like, all right, folks, it's been great. And then he just kept filming. So I'm like, I was getting to the sign. He's like, what sign? I'm like, that part where I said, well, it's been a great show. We'll see you next week. He's like, you're going to have to give me a sign that's more specific. I was like, I'll just do something that you know you can't miss. And I was looking around. Like, at the time, I didn't have anything on the desk. All I had was to take my shoe off. I'm like, this is something.
That's the shoe.